name's Terry Lynch. I'm with Oregon Ufology. I found myself searching for a passageway one day. And that passageway leads right across the complete section of the Cascades, which I'm sitting in front of at the moment. On top of my peak. I want to make sure that everybody sees the type of things that we find in the process of research for ufology. I have located a couple that's sitting here on the top of Blind Peak. She's facing south. He's facing north.
The Middle, Cascadia Guides, alleged production, in conjunction with Alien Strand Films.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Don Ledesma, and welcome to today's show. It's going to be a pretty interesting one, man. I know I got on earlier and I was talking to you guys about a lot of cool things that were happening with my other podcast that I have. I was just, it's just been a busy day. Super busy day. So I did do a podcast earlier today for my Patreon subscribers, so they got to get one in as well. And and I was working on the film The Middle Part 3, because I got Part 2 done. I need to stop saying Part 2 because Part 3 is done, man. And I'm just glad you guys are hanging in here today. I'd like to throw music in the background on this platform, but unfortunately, Facebook says you can't use it because you don't own it. Yes, I do. I bought it. I buy a lot of these. So even when I put it on, they still flag me, man. So sorry about that, guys. But if you're listening to it right now, because I have audio playing at the same time. If you're listening on Spreaker, Spotify right now, it's live. You are getting the music in the background, all right? So you guys get to hear it because they don't give me a problem. That's the way these platforms are, man. But if you're watching us right now, thank you for watching. We're on X Live. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're all over the place, man. There's some like 8 groups there I'm on right now where people are watching tonight. And thank you for watching. I am going to talk about the inner energy tonight, man. And it's going to be a little different. I'm going to be talking about some different things, that are happening to us, because, we know that we have some kind of energy within us, right? So I do want to talk about that tonight, but before we get going, I got to tell you about it. All right. Don't forget, watch us on Alien Strand Extras. We'll have a new one out there tonight. If you want to be a subscriber, $5 a month, or there's a free one there as well. Go check us out there on the Patreon. Just download the Patreon app and just look for Alien Strand Extras, because that's what that one is. It's extras, because all that is extra stuff that you don't find here, right? All right. So this podcast that I just did a little while earlier today is called "Are We Alone?" And I talked about the universe, right? Of how do you think we're alone in this planet by ourselves, right? Or with this whole universe around us, right? And with these planet-like exoplanets that are around us, and I get into depth in this podcast, and it's only on Patreon for paid subscribers right now. So you guys are the lucky ones. You guys get to check this out, all right? So and I go into depth there on this one, and I get real deep. I always get real deep on my conversations, because I want you guys to know what I'm thinking, right? This is what these things are about, right? So, and we do have merch there. So these guys are going to get some free shirts. If you are a paid subscriber, you are going to get 2 free shirts. Well, 1 free shirt, the one on the left there, and the one is for the extras, for the extra $5 a month. You get these other 2 on the right. Go check out our merch there on Patreon. All right. So the middle 2 is done. It's going to be out on Amazon Prime here pretty soon. So just look out for it. And I did an audio podcast, guys. Just an audio only. I didn't throw it on video because, I wanted to go back to my old roots, my old school stuff, the way I started. So I threw one out here about maybe 2 days ago on audio. So if you guys are listening to my show on audio only, this one is called The Origins of Everything, right? Because I talk about a lot of different things, if how it evolved around us. If you start noticing that what on my podcasts are, right, I start talking a little deeper about the origins of us all, right? And if you notice on these past, 4 or 5 podcasts I've done, it's all like a chapter in a book, like starting to come together, right? Because I'm just kind of putting these things together from the past, history, things like that. But catch up to that podcast. That's a really good one. It's an audio podcast. Go check it out. Go look for it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Alexa, all over the place. Go check it out there. Don't forget, the middle 2 is going to be coming up on Prime real quick. It's coming up, man. I know it is. They're told me it's getting ready. All right, so they just got to do a lot of nice things to it, and they're going to throw it out there. So be ready for that. Now, the middle part 1 is on 10 live channels. Go look for it. It's out there. We did put it out on YouTube, so go check it out on YouTube, man. What more can you ask for? It's free right now. It's going to be free till Sunday night, okay? So if you guys haven't seen it, if your family hasn't seen it, if you want to show it to them, please show it tonight. Go to our YouTube channel. It's free there, Alien Strand Podcast. If you're listening or watching right now on Alien Strand Podcast, hit us a like and subscribe, man. That really helps a lot, and it helps push a lot of this stuff out there, right? This is free. Get ready for it. All right, so, excuse me. So the middle tetralogy, right? So this is going to have 4 parts to it, right? And, we got the middle 1 out. The middle 2 is going to be coming out probably this week or next week. And then we're going to have the middle 3 in about a couple of months from now. After that, it's going to be the middle 4. Bam, it's over. So you all going to get to see everything that they came out of this whole deal. And you get to experience everything that they experienced, right? Thank you. Somebody says out there, it's a great movie. Excuse me. Great movie and full of answers. Yes, it is. I think so too. We did such a good job on that, just trying to put it all together for you guys. I don't know. I just love doing things like that and just kind of giving you guys information, right? I hope you guys understand that. Watch us on Alien Strand Disclosure Project. Look for us there at Alien Strand or ASDPUFO-.com. Go check us out there or alienstrand.com. If you want to report a UFO, anything like that, give us a call or talk to one of our representatives. When I put out these movies and these films, it's a lot of people think, you guys are just doing it to make me millionaires and all this crap. Yeah, no, man. No, we're trying to get the information out to you guys. Believe me, man. a documentary is not going to make you a millionaire, and they're so expensive to make too, right? So I've funded all these myself. Actually, I had some help from you guys out there when you've pitched in and donated a little bit here and there, but they're very expensive to make, man. So let me tell you that it's not something that you're gonna no, it's not gonna happen that way. I'm telling you right now. It's not going to happen that way. So we're doing it because we love what we're doing, and we want to get the information out to you guys because we think that you guys should learn and know about what's happening to people out there, man, and in the real world, not just what you see on the History Channel and all these other places. And over here on my on these films, documentaries, you're going to be able to see real things that are happening to real people, and you're going to see their footage. You're going to see their everything that they talk about from the heart, right? And that's what you're going to see. These people are not scripted, nothing. It's just I'm asking them questions, and they're telling you exactly what happened to them. And it's hard for them to talk about it, right? And I just hope you guys understand that part. I posted a video the other day on TikTok. TikTok's pretty bad too, though, people. Yeah, you get that sometimes. They're like, I put this video because somebody's talking, I guess, in Chinese or something in the background, and this person, how do you know that they're not in Texas just because they're talking Chinese? I'm like, dude, come on, man. I just threw it out that it's somewhere out there. I don't know who it is. I love everybody. I don't care who you are, man. So don't be starting that crap with me because I ain't putting up with it. All right, man. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little piece I just did right now. So, yeah, I do. I love everybody. So remember that. I ain't throwing no hate or none of that crap on here. So tonight's podcast, I want to talk about the inner energy of our souls, right? Our spirits, right? Of what we have out there, right? And what happens to us, during the process of our life as we live, right? Or even what happens to us even closer to death, right? And I know it's a little deep. It can be a little deep to talk about, but why don't we not talk about it, right? Why don't you want to know about it? I want to know about it, right? I want to dig into it a little bit more and just kind of, figure out where this energy is coming from. I mean, I'm talking about your spirit, your soul, your inner self, right? Consciousness, stuff like that. And that's what I want to get into tonight. The human soul, right? It goes deep, man. This part of our just humans, it's ourselves, right? Can go pretty deep, right? And it says in many religions and philosophical traditions, the soul is the spiritual essence of a person, right? Which includes one's identity, personality, or memories. The immaterial aspect or essence of the living being that is believed to be able to survive physical death. The concept of the soul is generally applied to humans throughout and it's also applied to other living or non-living entities, as is animism, right? So basically all this is telling you is you have something that's energy that's in you, like an aura, like we talk about, and it gives you the consciousness, right? Your spiritual essence, which is the identity, which is you, right? What makes you, and you're totally different from anybody else out there, right? And it's trying to break it down for you a little bit in a more scientific term, right? Of what is the human soul, right? It's like spiritualism in a sense, right? We all kind of break down, and some of us will go into trances, things like that. We meditate, we do yoga to try to help our inner soul sometimes, right? Or our energy, right? To change it. Sometimes we're feeling like kind of weird, right? And we end up doing things like that in order to change it, right? So, and these are the things that I think that they're important for us to kind of figure out who we are, right? And there's also, science of the soul, right? So there's people that are trying to break this down into different kinds of categories, right? There's religious aspects of the soul, and then there's science part of the soul, where this gentleman, his name is Julian Morislino, says scientific consciousness holds the mind and complex of a machine that operates at the same physical laws of any other objects in the universe. It says, according to Mussolino, this is currently a scientific evidence whosoever to support the existence of a soul, right? So the search for the soul is seen to have been an instrumental into the driving understanding of the anatomy and the physiology, whatever, of the human body, particularly in the fields of cardiovascular and neurology, right? So it's saying one seen into the spiritual and the immortal, right? And the other seen into the being material and mortal. Both have been described as the soul as being located in particular organ as pervading the whole body, right? So what is that telling you, right? Kind of like, you are you, right? And your soul is who you are, right? In consciousness, and it controls the whole body, controls everything, and we try to figure out, okay. So you break it down into a science, and you're telling me that, that it is kind of spiritual, right? And immortal at the same time. And it can be, right? So the science is almost like it's a mixed thing, right? So that's what we're saying here. And it's hard to break it down into science, right? To me personally, it's like, we've seen videos, and I've seen videos from people going to these motorcycle accidents, and all of a sudden you see this little black soul rise up right out of the crash, like it goes up, right? And we've seen a couple of videos like that, right? And it's kind of strange and freaky, and it kind of gives you the sense of, hey man, there is something there, right? There's something there inside of you that makes who you are, right? And as an energy, right? It says energy of the soul. So we have energy in ourselves. And it says the mirrors of the first law of thermodynamics, which state that the energy can transform from one state to another, but it can neither be created nor destroyed, right? So the same can be said for your soul. As a soul is energy, the life force is energy. Therefore, it can never die, only change form, right? So that's pretty cool, man. It's kind of breaking it down for you as energy, how it works, but the way your soul is working exactly the same way. Facebook user says, according to John Lear, we are a shell holding energy inside of it. Yeah, I believe so. And it's kind of strange, to just kind of talk about this and to break it down a little bit, because because we all see it and we witness things like that, right? As we try to understand what they really are. Now, what happens to a person or whoever after they die, right? Or after they go to the other side, right? And we kind of mix those in with ghosts and energy fields in a sense, because what do a lot of these ghost hunters, paranormal hunters, things like that, when they're out on these, haunted houses or old places of the past, because they're always going to the places of the past, right? Because that's where a lot of these things hang around. And they use their electronic magnetic field energy meters. They use their ghost apps. They use everything like that to pick up some sort of energy reading from these entities, right? Because it's energy. Soul energy, also known as the spirit energy. This is the most subtle type of energy, has close affiliation with your emotions. It can be translated in many different ways, such as your mind, your spirit, your consciousness, brutality, expression, soul, and the energy, right? So it's a living thing. It's some sort of a living thing. And when we go beyond or past that part of once death occurs, right? We tend to, I guess some of us maybe end up falling back or just staying here inside of this realm, right? Our souls, I guess, right? Because your spirit is sort of like a soul, I would say. So I'm going to show you this photo here. There's a photo here. If you guys listen to audio land, it looks like out in the trees during the daytime. Somebody took a photo out in the Oregon Trail, and it looks like a woman with wings. It says the trail cam photo came in Oregon, and it shows what looks like a woman standing in the trail. There's numerous sightings in this general area, right? So, this is a great photo. Whoever grabbed it, it just happened to be a ghost that pops up on their film, right? And it does look kind of like a woman if you really look at it. It's strange as it seems, but why not walk around, after you're gone, or in your energies and things like that, right? So those are the things we start thinking about. It's kind of crazy how a lot of ghost sightings occur. A lot of these video sightings occur. Just things like that too, where we're trying to understand exactly what's happening, right? Especially what's happening in front of us. There's a lot of things that we just can't wrap our mind around what's happening to us in real time, right? So I do have a video here that I want to show you guys, and this is of you guys have probably seen it before, but it's a video of this security officer. He works at a mausoleum, right? And apparently he's the second security or third security guy they hire because everybody just runs out and quits, right? So he put out this video. These guys followed him and put out this video, and I want to show it to you guys. You probably have seen it before. Maybe if you've not, check this out. And it's so strange. Turn up your radios if you're listening to it in your car. Listen to the background noises. Listen to everything what's going to happen here. Check this out.
Security guard works at a cemetery and has crazy paranormal experiences while at work, so we started recording the moments.
So I'm actually hearing something banging on the door. I'm hoping I'm going to catch it, son of a bitch. Door was open again. Hello, security. Hello. Hey, you need to come out. I'm not playing anymore. I don't know where the hell these people are or where. Jesus fucking Christ.
He's even had multiple moments where you can actually hear voices inside the cemetery building.
Anybody in here? Hello? Yeah, but listen, you got to get out of here. You're going to have to come talk to me, okay? Where you at? I can't see you. You're correct. So you need to come out, okay?
And one night, he got called about a flickering light inside the church, so we went to go check it out.
Okay, guys. I'm really not sure what's going on here. Nope. Yeah, I'm fucking done. This is some spooky fucking shit going on here. This is why my security officer fucking...
Is that scary or what, man? Oh my God. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the paranormal, just talking about it, things like that. But when it comes to going and looking for them, no, thank you. I'll just watch it on TV. But that was as strange as it seems, I don't know, it's, that poor guy, I believe he quit right after that. And that's why he said, now I know why the other security officer quit, because these strange things are happening now. If you're listening to Audioland, this guy was walking inside of the mausoleum at night and then hearing all those crash and bangs. Now, the last one of the little girl that you heard in the background, that was actually during the day walking through those halls inside of this mausoleum. Now, I don't know if you've seen the movie, maybe Phantasm. It kind of reminds me of that scene that's inside of, when the balls just kind of flying around inside that mausoleum. Now, some of these mausoleums are huge in the inside. But yeah, that last one in the church, and he heard that evil scream. That was just, I don't think I could pull that off. But, I'm kind of glad that, he boogied, because I would have boogied too out of there, like on the first day. So Sue Harrison says, wow, I would have not lasted 1 minute in there. No, neither would have I, But I brought this video to you guys' attention because I want you to see the other side of not just having a soul, but just having the energy that's there. Now, you saw the lights flickering, things like that, things were happening, the energy is enough to move things around, slam doors. So there's still some kind of energy presence even after you're gone, right? And that's the crazy part about that. Angela Ellison says, I recorded an EVP saying, and go where? When I was telling it to go out of my house. Oh, yeah. Out. That's when you say go outside. You just get out of here. I don't. I'm going to be honest with you guys. At least once a month, I sage my house. I have to. There's just creepy stuff happens, especially when you're around this realm. Now, it doesn't matter if you're in the paranormal world or you are in the extraterrestrial world. They kind of coincide, right? And regardless if it's paranormal or extraterrestrial or whatever, I still have to do that because I just feel like there's like bad juju out there every once in a while that you'll grab. And that's the kind of scary part about things like that. I have to do it, why not? Why not? There's a Facebook user out there saying, I would love to work here, here or there. I don't know about that. So, and that's why I wanted to talk about the soul. Does the soul die? Does the soul just kind of manifest or just kind of stays around, or was it tragic? I know they say a lot of times a tragic death or things like that, the soul is unrested, right? And it's just kind of hangs around for a while, or if this person wasn't ready to go yet, we go through a lot of that trauma. And of course, it can actually have your soul maybe just kind of stick around for a while, right? So they did a study. It was Dr. Stuart Hammeroff, right? So he did a study in 1996, and he's a scientist, right? And he says the soul doesn't die; it goes back to the universe, right? And it says, according to two leading scientists, right, the human brain is in fact biological, right? It's a biological computer. And the consciousness of people in the program run by the quantum computer located inside the brain and even continues to exist after we die. An expert explains, he goes, after people die, their soul comes back to the universe and it does not die. Says the debate of the existence of the soul, whether it's immortal or dies with the person, is an endless story that through the centuries that has occupied the time of great thinkers of the universal history. Its mysterious nature comes to fascinate different areas of science, but now the group researchers have discovered the new truth about it. The soul does not die. It returns to the universe, right? And I believe it does. There was a mathematical scientist, he said, of Oxford University. He said he worked on quantum theory of consciousness, in which the state of the soul is maintained by microtubules of the brain cells. He says, two of the researchers believe that the human brain, in fact, biological computer of the consciousness of people, programmed and run by the quantum computer located inside the brain and continues to exist after we die. Like I know I already read that part, but it just kind of telling you that this is exactly what scientists believe that it is, right? And it says the humans perceive consciousness is the fact the result of quantum gravity effects located within the so-called microtubules, right? So it's they're just kind of saying that, hey man, your brain is like a computer, but it never turns off. Just because the lights go out doesn't mean it turns off. It just means that it's still going. And he says like this, he goes, let's say the heart stops beating, blood stops flowing, the microtubules lose their quantum state. The quantum information within the microtubules is not destroyed, and it cannot be killed. And it just distributes and dissipates to the universe at large. So, I mean, they kind of dug into this real deep. These scientists in 1996. I mean, they want to know, right? Why not? Why not? Why not kind of dig deep into it and kind of know, where it goes? I mean, of course we can't follow it. We don't know exactly where it goes. And, but they're just telling you that the brain is part of that tissue, and the brain is what gives you the consciousness. We know that. And therefore it's the energy is kind of staying with you in a sense, in consciousness. It's confusing, I know, but I mean, what happens when they cremate you, right? Everything's gone, body's gone, everything's gone, but the soul and the energy continues to go into the vast, right? Into the vast of everything. And a lot of us have, different theories have grown up with different theories of everything, right? Of course, when we were children, we get to see the paranormal parts of everything, and we get kind of scared of. They start telling us ghost stories because these are things that people have caught on film. Now, right now, I'm showing you some photos of some real ghosts that have been caught on camera, right? And it just kind of shows you that these things do manifest as a human entity, and it keeps going, even after the body is gone, right? So this is pretty much like an affirmation to me, and possibly to you too, that this is what happens, right? And we've all been schooled on different kinds of things as growing up as children, and of course, spirits and things like that, where you go, and of course, I was born strictly 150% religious, and I had different things that they would tell us as growing up as a child, even up to as a young adult, and these are the things that have brought reason to us all, right? And regardless if you believe it or you don't, it doesn't matter. It's just, to me, it's like, it doesn't matter what you believe in or which God you believe in, as long as it makes you a better person and a good person. It's okay, man, and that's all for you. That's not for anybody else. That's for you, right? Because that's what's going to put your aura and your consciousness in a better place. What I'm trying to say is, where do we go, right? And this is where we always thought about, right? I mean, do we, as we have perceived in the past, they say the pearly gates, we're going to heaven. If you're a good person, if you're a bad person, you're going to burn in Hades, right? Or do we go to the universe, right? And these are just the different concepts of what's the possibilities of what happens to your energy, right? And of course, to tell you the truth, we're never going to know until we get to that point, right? And we're all going to get there. If you're listening to this podcast right now, everybody that's just out there, we're all going that direction, right? There's two things you don't get out of: death and taxes. And that's the truth, man. So we're all going to get there, regardless when it happens or what happens, but we're all going to get to this point. And we probably won't get to see it when it happens, right? I mean, to that day. But, I was trying to bring up the energies of how our bodies are, and how different, things, how we react, our souls, our energies, and how we are as people in consciousness, and where do we go, right? And I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit tonight. And it's because it intrigues me, right? I'm sure it intrigues you guys as well out there, to where exactly do we go, right? And this has been happening through the centuries, right? Not just now, but since the beginning of time. We've been, studying life after death, of course, like I was talking to you earlier, like the religious views that we have, it goes to Christianity, Hinduism, Jainism, it goes everywhere, even into the ancient Egyptian religions, right? So even they had a life after death, they had things like that to go into the different worlds that they had, right? And it was just the different times and the different faiths that we all have, and the different ways that they put things. They all pretty much saying you're going one direction, and you're going to leave your body, but you're not going to die. That's basically what everything is saying, right? And all these groups, Buddhism, Christianity, they're all saying this. Origins of the soul, right? It's all vexing through like Christianity and things like that. And then there's Scientology is the same thing, right? Scientology has a Hinduism is the same thing, right? Islam has the same thing. We all go through it. Every part of who we are as human beings and what we believe in and what religion and whatever it is, we all know that there's going to be life after death, right? The only thing different about Scientology, they just believe that you don't have a soul, right? But they believe that you have consciousness, and that you are reincarnated. That's Scientology. They call it the thetan, right? And it's derived from a Greek word called theta, symbolizing Scientology called auditing, right? And it's just kind of telling you that they kind of believe in it, but they kind of don't. It's kind of weird, I know, but if you don't look at these things and if you don't read these things, you're never going to know, right, of what everybody's thinking. And it's crazy, Angela says, I walked out at 28. I know I am what I am, completely disassociated from the person of this life. Huh. We all go through these struggles sometimes, and we make these changes later on in life to where we question it. But, as a kid, as a young kid, even as a young adult, a teenager, I never really thought about it, right? I never really thought about any of this, until after I got older, right? In my 40s and 50s, and I started thinking about it a little bit deeper. As we get older, we start thinking, oh, wait a minute, I'm getting closer to that clock. My clock is running out. So, and then we just start getting deeper into it, and we think about these things. Now, there's a ufologist out there. His name is Barry Nichols, right? Me and Terry's been wanting to show this for a while, but I think tonight's the perfect time to show this. So I have some pictures from him that he has actually kind of put together and kind of flipped them, like mirrored these images, and it kind of gives you these images of like these beings, right, or like entities that are out there, right? And he calls them the third tangent dimensional, right, of what these things are. But he's done a great job of these photos, and flipping them inside out. I mean, I'm going to zoom it out just a little bit more, get my face off of this, and then that way you guys can see it a little bit better. And you can pretty much make out like human beings and, crossing their arms and their legs, and you can see eyes, and, and these are just from smoke images, man. This is what this is coming out of. Just smoke images. And this gentleman right here is good at what he does, as far as this is concerned, because this is what it's showing me is there's a different dimension out there that we just cannot see, right? And people in audio land, I don't know if you're watching or listening right now, but if you have an image of maybe of how they did like a half an image of Leonardo da Vinci, and they did the other half, and it turns into something different, like it looks like a different pattern. This is what I'm showing tonight, but different photos of smoke, because he took pictures of smoke and the sun or the moon, because on a couple of the pictures you can see the moon in the background. He just mirrored the image, and this is what he got out of smoke and of the clouds. Strange, right? So this is what I wanted to show you guys, that this is the deep stuff right here out of consciousness, right? Jesus Estrada says, I really enjoy hearing and getting a higher consciousness. Thank you. And keep up these podcasts. You're welcome. You know, and he's just excited as much as I am. And we get to see a lot of this, you know, and when the pictures that I'm showing you, the videos I'm showing you, Erica says, yep, been seeing lots of that lately. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there. The third tangent is a formula of Dr. Albert Einstein. I believe that's Terry Lynch out there. His name's not coming up, but I believe that's him. You know, Einstein had a lot of background on he talked about a lot of this stuff. The dimensions, not just mathematical equations, but just the reality of everything, right? He even talked about heaven and hell. So he talked about a lot of these things. I've seen it and I've read it before on Albert Einstein. He wasn't just a mathematician and a whiz. I mean, he was about consciousness and the soul and everything like that. He was deep. That's what people just don't understand. But he was a great person, you know, as well. But these things that are showing you here, I mean, they're just incredible images. And like I said, me and Terry's been holding off on it. We were going to show it like maybe 5 podcasts ago, but we ended up talking real deep about a lot of stuff, and we ended up forgetting this image. But I thought tonight was a perfect time to bring this image out, because it does show that different dimension of consciousness. It has to be. And it has to be, man. You know? So it's true. The soul is not going to die. We're just going to go into a different place, a different level, right? Whether it's heaven, whether it's the universe, whether if you're a bad person, you're going to go down to Hades. You know, it's what we're going to experience is going to be the experience. And I watch a lot of these shows that I've died and come back. I don't know if you've seen those shows. Great shows, man. Great. I think it's on True TV. Watch that one. It's called I Died and Came Back or something like that. A lot of these people, after this happens, they're like, man, I can't wait to die. I loved it over there on that other side. You know, it's kind of strange to say that, but 9 out of those 10 people all said that. You know, and it's, I guess it's going to be a better place than where we are now. Hey, I experienced no pain, no nothing. It was just joy, love, happiness, and that was it, you know. They say all your worries go away. And I wanted to bring this out to you guys tonight. I believe Terry says, if you look at the second set closely, you will see Dr. Einstein's face. And you do, actually. So hold on, I'm going to zoom that out in a little bit. So look at the right 2 photos. Look at the centerpiece. You can see a face right in the middle of that. It almost looks like a mustache, eyes, nose, hair on the side. Wow, that is freaky, man. Wow. That's a great picture, though. Thank you, Terry. So maybe that's him saying, here I am, man. Here I am. So I'm glad you guys got to enjoy this podcast tonight. You know, this podcast to me it's deep. Yes. Very deep. But sometimes you got to talk about these things. In Alien Strand podcast, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. If I'm thinking it, I'm going to talk about it. And I'm glad you guys are watching and listening tonight. I really appreciate you guys. thank you so much. I mean, it just tells me that I'm on the right track, and I'm doing the good thing here. So please, if you're listening on our podcast, Alien Strand podcast, hey man, give us a like, give us a subscribe, click on everything out there, just kind of get us out there. I just want to try to help as many people as possible, and if this podcast helped you kind of think a little bit, hey man, it's great. I'm glad it did, and if it helps you become like a better person, just thinking of the good things in life and the good things that are come after we're gone, then hey man, go for it. That's what it's about. Erica says, wow, very interesting, so interesting. It's I just love what I do here. And catch us on our TikTok, catch us on 26 27 platforms. We're all over the place, man, on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker. We're everywhere, man. And now we're on Patreon, man. I just threw one podcast out today. I've already done 3 in this past 2 days, right? Right on. I'm just trying to get all the information out as possible. So anyway, thank you guys for sticking around tonight. I appreciate it. It's been my pleasure to give you some of this information and what I think and what you guys thought, because I put your thoughts on screen, man. I appreciate that. And I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget, next podcast will probably be Sunday with Mr. Terry Lynch and myself. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about UAP number 10. We're gonna throw some nice videos out there, and I do have some new stuff coming up. And we'll be looking out for the middle, part 2, the visitors, coming soon. All right, guys. I'm glad you stuck around. We'll see you guys on the next one, and until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And have yourselves a good night.
I believe it was 5 separate craft. That's some straight UFO shit right there.
That's when I started seeing all of the lights and the contact that I've been witnessing.